Thanks for coming here, the Court on the Street. I'll bet you're wondering how we got here. Well, you see, in the beginning, there was this thing we called the primordial soup. It was rich in oxygen, hydrogen, and carbon. What? Oh, too far back? Okay. Let's just go ahead and fast forward this a little bit. And, here we are. This, dear listener, is you. You have extremely good taste. And this extremely good taste of yours led you straight into the loving arms of me, your trope host Vince. He, on the other hand, walks around with a little black storm cloud above his head. He's always telling you about the inevitable heat death of the universe, and wouldn't you know it, he's got a big red poisonous flower growing right out of the top of his head. He's your gloom host, Josh. How we doing today, Josh?
Man,
Gloomy?
why are you telling everybody how I look? Now they're gonna know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That storm cloud's a dead giveaway.
They're gonna Google me and, get an exact picture and then find me.
Yep. Google Josh right now and you will know exactly what he looks like. Just Josh. Josh is how you spell it. Mm-hmm. That's how he looks.
I can't complain. Doing pretty good,
Good.
How about you?
That's phenomenal.
How's your week been?
My week has been something. After having the surgeries, went back to work, immediately hurt my back, had to call in twice more, so.
Oh, well, what ended up happening? What'd you do? Just go pick up something and move wrong?
Nah, I guess. I couldn't extend my arm fully, so I must have been twisting and turning a lot more than usual and just, strained my back.
Oof, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Back pain and teeth pain are the two worst things in the world. Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't had teeth pain, even though I just got my wisdom teeth out. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, I've only had it bad once. And it was I had a bad cavity, and it was at the base of the tooth, and it had formed just a small hole on the inside of the tooth that you couldn't really see. But it was right at the base of the gum, and the hole went right to the root. So I'd breathe in, and the air would hit that hole and go in and hit the nerve.
Hey, that sounds horrible and awful.
It was absolutely horrible. Normally I'm my pain tolerance is pretty high, and I was nope,
sure.
nope, emergency dental procedure immediately.
Oh God.
That was tough. That'll bring any mere mortal to his knees.
Yeah, right. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Work word on the street. Every week, Josh and I pick one word from the week's words from the puzzle word game Quirtle. I should have brought the dates up that we're choosing from before I started this sentence. Today, we're choosing words from October 2nd to the 8th. If you want to see what those are, get in on the action. Tell us your word. Tell us what you think. Go ahead and head on over to our Twitter and do that. Engage with us. This week, Josh goes first.
I do.
So let's hear what you got.
So, this was a pretty rough week for words. I had a little difficulty finding one, so I decided to pick audit. I thought it was a different word. Try to bring something, a little bit.
Trying to educate the masses about tax brackets.
Yeah, no. I just figured it'd be something complete different topic than my traditional, let me find a way to connect it to games, movies, videos, games, or music or something like that. So let me get something that's different. So, the word audit generally makes you think of, going into a business, checking all their documents, making sure they're not breaking any rules, checking for mistakes. So that made me think of, you can kind of audit anything. So why don't we audit our lives and talk about any accidents, things that we wish we could go back and change, or injuries to ourselves or others that weren't great, to start off the conversation. So I have quite a list of accidents and things that I wish.
Do you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you realize how injury prone I was when I was younger. I didn't have bad injuries. I never broke a bone, but
teeth or bones.
Yeah, that's true. So, that's pretty much the start of it too. Second grade, that whole saying, kids, don't lean back in your chair. Well, it's true. Don't do it. I was leaning back in my chair. I leaned forward. The leg of the chair went through the loop of my shoelace. So I leaned back again to, get it out from under there. And when I did, I fell forward and hit my face on the desk and broke my 2 front teeth, cracked them right down the center, made a V. So I had to have, fake little tooth pieces put in. So that was, a good way to
Yeah.
start. Yeah. Definitely wish I could have taken that back, because I've had them replaced at least like 6 times already in my life, and
Mhm.
I went and I broke one of them off a few years ago when I was still in North Carolina, and I went to go have it like looked at to redo it, and the dentist was like, yeah,
Shit.
there's like nothing for it to adhere to anymore. Like, it's so smooth and flat. They're like, we'd have to like shave it down and basically give you a false tooth, and that'll be like $5,000. And I was like, yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm not spending. I'm good. I'll hold off for now.
yeah. No, that's all. That's a lot. That's too much.
Yeah.
I just got my wisdom teeth removed, and it was like $500 or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you have pretty decent dental care through
Yeah,
your
but
work.
even if that's billed through my health insurance actually.
Yeah.
But still, like, the full cost is probably like 1,500.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, then again, pulling them is way less
Well,
difficult than like, they have to like
I mean-
mold the tooth and do all the other.
Wisdom teeth is surgery, but yeah.
Yeah. It actually would probably be better now, because I actually have like that. At that point, I didn't even have dental insurance, so
Yeah.
it was trying, and I was like at like one of the like chain dental places, so they were probably just astronomical compared to. I probably could find way better things.
Yeah. I'm like racking my brain. I'm trying to think of anything. I've said it before. I'm generally like a no regrets kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I never really had any like major injuries. I don't think. Never broke a bone or anything. So I don't know. It's hard for me to think of something to go with on this.
I also so you fast forward a few years. Let's see. Also, another thing, they tell you don't run down the stairs. I did that stupidly as well, and I'm sure you obviously know this one. The metal sink at the bottom of the stairs, and my dad was getting ready to put in, and I took a little spill at the end of the stairs, and my toe went, on one side of the lip of the metal sink, and the other toe on the other, and then like my little toe was just dangling there because it was like almost cut off from slipping there. So
I don't think I knew this one.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. So I was running down the stairs into the basement, and he had a brand new sink waiting to be put in, and I slipped, and I just happened to slip at the right angle, and that sink lip went right in between, and I had to have what they call a lateral block. So they gave me like 36 shots in my foot to block all the nerves, because I had just like cut everything. Like, it was just hanging by like a few nerves and skin. Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So
you shouldn't have done that.
Just imagine that I had 18 stitches in my little toe. It's like almost all the way around it.
Yeah, I'd imagine that would be very close to the whole thing.
Yep. So we had that happen. And then 4 days after that, because I'm smart, I was riding a bike in a rock driveway, and the brakes locked up on me, and I slid, and I got a huge rock, like probably the size of a 50-cent piece, and jammed into my knee.
Cool.
So I have a gash that's the complete length of across my knee there. I had to have stitches across that. And like 6 months later,
I do remember something about you, the one where you were like riding your bike across the street or something like that.
Down the street, I was coming.
I thought it was like across the street, and you fell, and then you had to you said you got up and threw the bike across the road.
That's a different one.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll tell that one, which is true. So, Oriskany Boulevard. The end closer to like Route 69, like Steakhouse, like going that way.
Nice.
Like probably I would say directly across from like the police station right there. So it's, for people that are listening, that road is like a 4-lane highway with a middle turn lane in there. Not really a highway, but yeah.
And the police are a law enforcement branch of the government.
Yeah, maybe you'll know that, maybe you won't. But yeah, I was crossing there, so riding over, and I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow I fell off my bike in the middle of this 5-lane road. and there's cars coming in. And it was me and three other people, and I was the last one. And it's actually funny that you brought this up because I had just seen my nephew. I say nephew, but it's my brother's
Your
ex-wife.
older nephew.
Yeah, my nephew that's a year younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Because it was my brother's ex-wife's child from another relationship. So we grew up like really good friends, and I just seen him for the first time in a few years, and he brought up that story. So yeah, we're riding across. They all make it across. I fall, and he's like, I look back and I just see Josh laying on the ground, and he goes, and then I look over and there's just a wave of cars coming, and he's like, you shot up, like you just went from laying down to standing straight up. There was no motion in between, and he's like, you just grabbed your bike with one arm and just threw it across 2 lanes of traffic and then go running across the lane. And I was like,
it's a funny story.
I'm like, I don't know, like I didn't realize it was that crazy when it happened, like the adrenaline just kicks in. But now that I think about it, like throwing a bike from the middle lane across 2 lanes of traffic,
yeah,
that's pretty good distance. So,
well, my recollection of it is that you rolled it, like you said, you like pushed it, you like ghost rode it across the road. But
no,
but yeah, first hand account is more reliable than
yeah
me.
I didn't even remember it until he brought it up. To be honest with you.
Oh, that's funny.
I just kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, bikes and me, not the greatest.
Apparently.
And I was going down the road coming from Dan's house back to my house, and on my feet resting on the front pegs while I was just coasting, and my foot slipped off the peg and hit the ground. So that sent me on a wobble, and the bike went left, and I kept going straight.
My guy.
Down the hill. So I had 12 stitches in my chin. I had like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts across the top of my left hand, because I still have all 6 scars going across there. Scraped up my elbows and my knees a bunch, but really it was the chin and the hand that was bad.
Yeah, I mean that type of fall is no joke either.
Yeah. Going down a hill.
Yeah. Well, I just watched Winning Time, the Larry Bird, or not Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
Oh yeah, documentary.
HBO show.
Yeah.
And like the head coach of the Lakers that year, like went over his handlebars like that and almost died.
On a regular bike, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, that was his mode of fitness, was bike riding. And he was older, but still, like, that type of fall on a bike is really no joke. You could just die from it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot. Like, we think we're indestructible, especially when we're younger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that happened, got those. Also another bike related one. I was
Who keeps giving you bikes?
I don't know. I was riding over to Danielle's house, and her and her sister, they had just gotten home, and they were in the car like messing around, arguing with each other, and I was riding my bike down the driveway, and it's like a decent little like incline, so I got some speed behind me, and the garage door is open, so I was like gonna go into the garage and just like stop in there, so I'm booking it down the driveway. And
is this gonna be like a cartoon?
Oh,
yeah. Garage start closing?
Oh, yeah, 100%. They start messing around, and one of them accidentally hits the button to close the garage door, and I am going full speed, and when I meet the garage door, it is halfway down, and I just hit my face right on the garage door, face first. Bike goes into the garage, hits the back wall. I'm laid out on my back, half in the garage, half not. Yep.
Wow.
So, that was a fun time.
Yeah. I had some falls on my bike, but nothing quite like that. I had one where I was riding down my own street, and I was being a kid, just doing stuff because my brain isn't fully formed yet. And I was just like swerving in and out of people's driveways as I was riding down the road. Most of the driveways were unpaved, or were at the time. So like there's one driveway I like swerved in, swerved out. There goes the wheels, and I'm like scraping by on my knees. It was kind of the same thing that you were saying, but not nearly as bad. Like I got like a pebble wedged in my knee.
Yeah.
But luckily you can't see the scar because of the nature of my knee.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't give too much away. It's on my only knees page.
Yep, I
So
know.
the people got to pay to see the knee.
I was the first subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So did that one. Trying to think what else. Oh, this one doesn't have to do with the bike, but this is also pretty good.
Okay.
So I went outside to go do something. I went like from the basement out the back door, and I had to go outside for something, but I knew I was coming right back in. So like I didn't close the door all the way. You know what I mean? Like I didn't latch it.
Okay.
Well, little to my knowledge, while I was out there, my mom had gotten up and saw the door wasn't closed and closed it all the way and latched it. So I come booking down the basement stairs from outside and just put my hand out to push the door open to go in because it should just swing open because I didn't latch the whole time. And like I had to go in, had to pee. I was racing to go inside, and the door was closed. Like fully closed. So my hand just went through a double pane of glass.
Oh.
And I'll never forget how lucky I got. And when you looked at it, I had glass stuck in my wrist all the way in a complete circle except where the vein is.
Jeez.
Like stuck in my skin all the way around except for right where the vein was. And
yeah,
I was like,
that
oh,
would've been nasty.
well, we'll thankful for that one. Yep.
Yeah, for real. Man, you're a little klutz.
I was a super injury prone as a kid, but I was also like
Klutzy.
pretty active too. Like for especially a kid my size, I was always out riding a bike, playing football, doing some stupid stuff like
riding bikes.
beating.
Someone needed to take that bike away from you.
Hey, you live and you learn.
None of those stories are even like they're all your fault. Like it wasn't like you could say, it just happened. Like all of them were your fault.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just didn't care. Like I said, when you're that young, you're indestructible.
Yeah, sure.
And now I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go on the top of that building because falling's scary.
Hey man, I threw out my back because I laid down.
I know. Oh, dude, that's the worst. The worst is it's happened twice in the last 3 years where I'll go in to see my cousin in his office and I'll, like, his desk is a normal desk height and I'm tall. So I'll lean over, like completely lean over and put my elbows on there and like just lean there and talk to him. And like it's happened twice where I've done that and leaned down and my back will hitch and I'm like, uh-oh, I can't get up. Like you kind of got to just give it a second until your back decides to become a functioning piece of your body again.
Yep.
Well,
that's how it goes.
Or when you sleep wrong and then you can't turn your head more than 5 degrees at either side. You're just like, well, good thing I have peripheral vision because I wouldn't be able to see anything else.
Yeah, right. I luckily haven't had that happen to me in a while. Knock on wood. But like, I haven't had something exactly like that happen. I just throw out my back.
Yeah.
And that, like, I can like feel it coming on whenever it happens to me. It's like a slow burn.
You just
got home from work. I'm like, there's something back there. And I like laid down. And I was like, something ain't right. And then I woke up at 4 a.m. and I'm like, okay, there it is.
Sounds like you really do need to throw your back out. Get a new one.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I had way more things to talk about for that than you did, because I am apparently quite the accident-prone person, or at least I used to be.
Yeah, I don't think I have not had anything major. I had never had stitches until I got the mole on my arm removed a few weeks ago.
Wow, I had so many stitches.
I guess a few like months ago, because like I didn't realize that stitches leave scars on their own.
Yeah.
So like the first person that like took the biopsy of the mole, like just stitched me up old fashioned way. And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like they are stabbing me with needles. Those are going to leave scars.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That makes sense.
That's also another reason why I started letting the beard grow out more when I was after that, because I have that scar on the bottom of my chin. So like you can't see,
I guess you do.
You can't see that scar there when I have the beard. It was like, I can grow a beard and it covers that dual purpose.
Win, win, win.
Yes. Are there any things that you have happened in your life or things that you've done that you consider to be mistakes? You said you don't really live with the no regrets
Yeah.
kind of point of view, but is there anything that sits with you and you're like, man, if I could go back?
No. I think I have there's two things at play here in my mind that
Mhm.
make me not have an answer to this question. And that's like, I generally try to not regret things. But also I have like a deterministic view of
Yeah.
the world.
Okay.
So like if I went back and changed something, it would change everything. You know what I mean? Like especially something significant enough to stick in my mind. Like everything that's happened to me, the embarrassments, the bad things, the good things, all have made me who I am now, and I'm pretty happy with who I am.
Hmm.
So I don't think I don't long to change things in general.
If you could change something without having any effect, would you?
I don't think so. It's this is like a hard question for me to even engage with. You go first, and I'll try to think of something, but it's kind of not how my mind works.
I really only have one, and that's not playing sports.
Hmm.
Because I think if I had and I'd gone on that path, I think I probably would have been really good. I just, yeah, it was in a bad situation where we went to school. You had to be somewhat connected to get a starting spot on a team, and specifically if you wanted to be anything of importance. So, yeah, never stuck through with it.
Yeah.
But
I
I,
mean, you would have been great as a lineman. And the thing about high schoolers, the thing about children is that they're dumb and they don't really realize how important like a position like that in football is.
mhm.
Like you would have been good and you would have like gone far as a lineman, but you wanted to be the tight end.
I would have been good at both. To be honest
You
with
would
you.
have been good at both. You're quick, so you would have been a good big tight end, sort of like a slot defender.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You're
Just.
kind of playing away from your strengths a little bit there. I remember the summer where we were trying to get you in shape
Mm-hmm.
to try out for tight end, like get your speed up, get your cardio up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did you try out and just not make it, or I don't
No,
even remember
I
the
did.
end
I
game of
did
that.
3 weeks of practice and everything, but they just
Yeah.
wouldn't let me do anything other than offensive line, or defensive tackle.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I want to try out for that, and they were like, that's not an option. And I was like, well, you can have my helmet back, because they just like took all the fun away from me. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like I don't know. I hated being put in a box because it was like I could understand if I couldn't perform at the level that they would have needed, but I 100% could have.
Yeah.
It would have been. It would have been having like we were a run first team. Like it would have been like having an extra lineman on every down, having me at at
Yeah.
tight end.
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't make sense other than my name not lining up and not having that connection to the people in charge. Okay, it was the same thing with Matt.
Yeah.
Matt was better than half of the kids that started at wide receiver. They never gave him a chance.
Matt fell victim to the like pre Moneyball era of sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Yep.
Like he didn't have the feel that the coaches were looking for, right? He was a little goofy, but like he was quick enough to run routes and he was tall and he had the hands
Yep.
to make catches. And they didn't give him a chance because he ran heel to toe.
Yep.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, he could have been great if they had really
Yep.
really given him the chance. So that's really the only mistake that I could think of that like I really look back on now, because the more I think about it and like my life path, I probably could have got a scholarship as a lineman to go to college
Yeah.
and played. And I don't know if I could have made it past then. But if I really worked at it, I probably could have at least made it to a D1 school. Maybe not made it past that, but
Yeah.
I
Probably.
think I could have been good enough to play for a D1 school. I don't know if I would have been good enough to go past that, but I think if I had given it my all, I could have went somewhere.
I mean, you have the size, like there's the genes are there, right?
Yeah, I'm big boned. I'm
And, like,
6'3", like
The big thing about, positions like that is like you have to have awareness, and I think your record in video games shows that you do have like a good awareness of the field or the whatever, the play that's happening. Like
Yeah.
you're aware enough that you could have,
Well, I was
made it
very
good.
nimble for a person of my stature.
Yeah.
Like playing basketball
It's
and
the
stuff,
best.
like I could maneuver around people. I had really good balance for somebody my size. So like
Hmm.
all that plays a factor into being a great lineman because you're
Yeah.
literally getting pushed into the whole time. Like you have to be able to keep your footing.
Yep.
So I'm like, man,
I
I
mean,
wish I
this,
had stuck with that.
it's, people bring it up as a joke, but it's the reason that like so many linemen are good at dancing. It's like
You gotta have nimble
there
feet.
you have another 400-pound dude pushing against you. You got to know where your feet are
Yep.
and be able to put them in exact spots.
Yep.
Like it's that simple.
Okay. Is there anything you were able to think of?
Nah.
Okay. So
Maybe the only thing that I could think of, but it's kind of just parroting your answer, is starting bowling like the year earlier. I was eligible
yeah.
the year earlier, but I did modified basketball instead, and yeah, same thing. I wasn't connected, so I didn't get put in ever. Well, no, actually, it's worse than that. I always forget this when I start talking about this. I didn't get put on a squad in modified basketball. Like you were required to play modified basketball, right? So they had an A squad and a B squad. A squad started first half, B squad started second half, but I
It was on C Squad.
was out when the squad assignments were taking place. It's not that I didn't make a squad. I missed the practice when the squad assignments were taking place
You never got put on one?
because you want to know why I missed the practice?
Yeah.
I had to go to my grandmother's funeral.
Oh.
Like I literally was like, look, I'm going to my grandmother's funeral, and he just never put me on the squad.
Oof.
Mr. Legace never put me on the squad. I did score more points than Matt that year, though. He was on the squad, so.
That's funny.
But yeah, I shouldn't have even bothered. As soon as he did that, I should have seen. I wish my parents would have seen what a petty little bitch that guy was
Yeah.
and taken me off of that team and put me into bowling. I was already bowling at that point. I should have just started on the high school team a year earlier.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you definitely were. That was definitely your best sport by far.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
this will be good, and I will go first for this because you're gonna need some time probably to think about this. But what are some things in the world that you think need to be changed or get overlooked? And I don't mean like big overarching things. Obviously, there's the world hunger, racism, all that kind of stuff. Like obviously that stuff needs to be fixed. I'm talking about like the little nitty gritty things that just get to you. So I got a good little list of them. Things that okay, so first off, leading out strong with this one, rip and dip condiments should be mandatory. Every condiment should come in the rip and dip packaging, the ones that the ketchup comes in, where you can either peel it back and dip it into it, or you can rip the thing off and squeeze it. Every condiment should come in there. It's a superior packaging method. Like I understand it's cheaper to produce the other ones, but they're so much better. Just get rid of the other ones.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I do know what you're talking about. I don't see the reason for it.
Okay,
for your adamance about this, but
because you either get ketchup packets that you have to tear the corners out of, and then you can't dip them.
Why does mayonnaise need to come in this?
Because then you could squeeze it and do it. Or people like to dip their fries in mayonnaise. Some people.
Yeah, mayonnaise was a bad choice.
But no, I mean it's everything like ranch. Okay, some people want to dip their fries in ranch, or you want to put it on a sandwich. It's way easier to evenly put it on a sandwich by ripping it off and squeezing it through, and you could put it nicely on your sandwich. It's just a superior packaging method that allows for consumption either way. Because like you get the tubs, right? But then you can't finally put some from the tub on something. Whereas if it had the squeeze thing, it's both.
I have never actually used one of these. I know what you're talking about. I've never used one of them. Doesn't the squeezy, because it has to be like a cup in order to facilitate the dipping, the ripping section, when you try to use that, doesn't it just leave a bunch of sauce like in the package still?
No, you can because
it has to be rigid enough to facilitate dipping.
It's not super rigid though. It's like, try to explain it. It's a little bit more rigid than like the filament they use for like bread bags. So it's got enough to hold its shape, and it really the sauce is what keeps, gives it the shape. It's pushing it out. So like
Okay.
it has enough stuff in there where it can sit down and it'd be flat, but then it's also moldable enough that you could squeeze all the stuff out. I mean, there's some residual sauce in there, but it no more than there'd be in like a regular ketchup packet, or at least not when I use them. I'm able to get it all out.
Oh,
So
this is very good low stakes rantery.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't want to go too deep into stuff, but like just the little things that get to me. Like I just think that they should all be way more enjoyable if they were all in that style of packaging. Okay. More self-checkout lanes at stores.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. I will stand up against this one every day of the entire week. This is no good.
Why?
Not only are self-checkout lanes not as good, but they also I want places to employ people.
Okay, but they can still employ people to go do the other things.
But they don't. This is the thing. Like I would rather have 4 people working the registers than 1 person working 4 registers. And that's what you have to do with those self-checkout things. It's a worse experience, and it's just...
Oh, it's a better experience for me. I choose self-checkout every time. I'm not standing in line for regular.
You really shouldn't.
No, I 100%.
Like just in a sort of labor sense of the thing. Like you want to encourage places to employ people, because eventually you get to a point where you're in a Macy's and you want to check out, you want to buy a pan or something, whatever I was in Macy's for. And there was literally not a single person at any of the registers in the entire store, and they forced you to do it on the app. Here's the thing. Someone gets paid to do that. If you want to do self-checkout and they give you a discount for using self-checkout, I would be perfectly okay with that. But unless you're getting paid to do self-checkout, I see no reason why anybody should ever do it.
Oh, because it's way more convenient.
You're doing a job for free.
It's only a job because we didn't have the technology to do it prior to that.
You did. You know how simple those systems were? These systems are no more simple than the system that I used working at Hannaford. You could have walked behind that register and did it at that time, but I was getting paid to do it. Mm-hmm. And now you're taking money out of someone's pocket and letting the company take money out of someone's pocket and not getting paid to do someone else's job.
Yeah. I guess I see your point, but for me, convenience, I'll take my convenience over it, because they have 97 checkout lanes at Walmart for cashiers that are never there. Just give me more.
Because Walmart doesn't employ enough people.
It's just always faster.
Sometimes,
because most of the time,
at certain stores, sometimes
most of the time it's 60-year-old women at Walmart cashing people out that are just slow.
Yeah, I guess.
I just want to get in, get my stuff.
I hate self-checkouts. They're the worst.
They're the worst
thing that's happened. They're the worst thing that happened to our society in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I'll let you die on that hill.
Like frankly, because it made people think the way that you're thinking. This is a big issue that I don't want to go off on I already did go off on it a little bit, but like this is a big issue and we should be fighting against it. It's not good, and you should be fighting against that instinct to just want convenience in lieu of getting paid to do something that people get paid to do.
That they did get paid to do. Yes.
They still do. So
it depends on where, if a company does it or not. If they switch over,
they shouldn't. They should be employing more people. They're just using it as an excuse to increase their bottom line and make their service worse. And because you go to some places where the self-checkout machines are bad, and then you go to, say, Target, where the self-checkout machines are at least not horrible, and you're like, okay, this is much better compared to that other thing that's bad.
I mean, maybe
you should be comparing it to the other thing.
I've just never had a bad self-checkout machine.
Half of them are bad. Half of them are bad. They either force you to put the item in the thing before you scan the next one, so it takes way longer, or it speaks to you at every single point, or you have to click through 7 screens to get to the payment method. Like
I
they're
literally have
all
none of these experiences.
Walmart does that. You have to click through. You have to click through three screens, bags, payment method, coupons in order to get to the payment method at Walmart. You can put your card into the thing at Walmart and start paying, and it won't do it until you go through on the register. It's not a good experience just because you're blind to it.
I just don't have any problem doing it. Like I hit zero bags, I hit next, I hit the debit card thing, I stick it in, and my transaction's
That's a
finished.
that's a bad experience. That is a bad, inconvenient experience, and you are just blind to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just feel
I don't I
specific
don't
way.
feel as I don't feel as strongly about this as I'm actually saying, but it's fun to say shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I use them too. Like it's hard to get around using them sometimes
I'm 100% for them
because
if they hold people accountable. But I don't want some slow person running your cash register.
then
I don't.
you want places to have more cashiers, not less cashiers. You're having a bad experience and you're having a less bad experience at the self checkout, but it could be a good experience if they just had more cashiers.
Good cashiers, not just cashiers in
Any
general.
cashiers.
Good
If you
cashiers.
had a warm body at a cash register, it would be better than half of the self checkout things because it's faster. They don't have to go through the stupid checks in order to prevent people from doing stupid shit. The machine's not going to lock down, and you have to have the attendant who's helping someone else come over to your register 2 minutes later to help you just to scan their badge and go through voiding an item.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bad experience.
I don't know. I guess I'm just self-efficient at running them, so it doesn't bother me. I'm quick.
Most of the time,
if I need the attendant for something, I make it known before I even start ringing it out. Like I know that they're gonna have to go up there if I'm buying alcohol, so I just tell them when I'm going over there. I'm like, I'm gonna need this. I got alcohol.
I don't know. I have been to multiple self checkout machines where if you don't put the item in fast enough times, then it will just lock the machine and tell you to get an attendant because they want to make sure that you're not skipping putting stuff in the bagging area so that it can account for the weight of it.
What even does that anymore? Walmart doesn't do that anymore at all. At least not the ones around here or the ones in North Carolina.
I don't know.
So
Tops does it, but you don't have Tops around there.
No.
And I don't know. It's not the only place.
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I can understand. You had bad experiences. I just didn't really have any bad experiences with them. I've never been like.
All I'm saying is just recognize that it is a bad experience versus going and having someone
somebody
checking out.
Speed is the experience for me. So if it's, I'm quicker than most of the people there.
I can't see. You feel that way because you're in control. I can't see any way that
lines move faster.
Scanning something and putting the lines go faster because there's more registers. If there's more registers open, the lines go faster. So employ more people, have more lines open.
No, it's mostly because most people that go to the self checkout they don't have shopping carts full of stuff.
It's because there's 4 of them. It goes 4 times faster because there's 4 of them. It probably goes 3.5 times faster because there's 4 of them. Like places just found a way around opening more lanes. Fucking whiny businessmen complaining about having to employ more people and scheduling and making their jobs hard. Didn't want to employ more people, so they just found a way around it and gave you a worse experience, and you're happy for it. They win.
Yep. Well, I'll agree to disagree with you on this one. You're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change yours.
I don't need to change your mind. I use them too. It's hard to deny that they are more convenient sometimes because there's not enough registers open.
Here's
otherwise.
the thing: if I was shopping for a family, yeah, I don't want to go through dealing with the self checkout myself. I'm shopping for myself. I have like 6 items most of the time. Get me in and get me the fuck out. I don't want to talk to your 90-year-old grandmother that needs to still work and she has to ask me my life story and the life story of every fucking person in front of me. Get me my shit. Get me the fuck out. She can sit there and talk to the other 90-year-old woman in line. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, I don't care. She can have her job. Cool. But give me the fucking fast lane like you do on the road. That's what I want. Like my mom's the same way. My mom won't use the self checkout ever. She refuses. One, because she just can't figure it out. I don't think she's not used to that kind of stuff. But yeah, just not. I'm all about the in and out.
Yep. Yep. Now I get that. When I have to do that, I do. If I have 5 items, yeah, I'm gonna just
Okay, and
do that.
maybe this will be better for you. Maybe this would
Okay.
help the thing. I only want more self checkouts because there's all the wasted lines, and they're not going to put people there. So if you're not going to put people there, give me more self checkouts. Does that make it better? If they're not going to hire more people to put in those registers,
Yeah.
and they just sit there,
Look,
they just give me more self checkouts.
look, it is a bad way. You want to go one way, I want to go the other way. They'll both solve the issue,
Yeah,
right? Like I want more people to be at the registers. You want more self checkout registers to have more registers. Of
I'm
it.
100%
Like,
okay even with more people if they are
yeah,
competent people. But just hiring a person as a cashier and saying that they're good, that don't make them good. Like there's people that just suck, and that ruins my experience if they're not fast, if they don't know what they're doing. Like
yeah, I
just
guess
let
I
me
would.
roll in.
If I have 10 or more items, I would take the worst cashier over the best self checkout machine.
No, not me.
I
I'm
hate
in
it.
and out
You
quick.
can ask you can ask Nicole anytime, like anytime we're in like Tops or Wegmans, she'll like look at me and be like, "Do you want to go to a line?" And I'll almost always say yes if we have more than a few things. But if I'm alone, I'm just running in to get a pack of tortillas. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the self checkout
Yeah, because it's so much faster.
because I can be faster than it really is. Just
Here's the
scan
thing.
one thing,
This is
pay, leave.
This is the best way to explain it. If I could have all these cashiers every time, cool, because they're paid well and they do their job correctly. And I never have a bad experience at all these. But everywhere else where they don't fucking properly train people or they hire people that are way too old to do the position, it's a bad experience a lot of the time, especially in the South. Like, oh my God, dude. That was when I
Yeah,
started
yeah,
using self checkout. I was almost in the same boat as you when I was up here because it's way less prominent
yeah,
of people being
yeah.
slow up here. But down south,
Yep.
boy, I mean, you are hearing the entire family backstory while you're trying to just get a thing of beer and some gum. Like,
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I would probably be in the same headspace down there, to be completely honest. Like they're listening to us on half speed here because we talk too fast, right?
yeah,
I don't know
definitely,
if Gavin still listens,
nah.
but
I mean, he knows.
okay.
He knows how people are. I mean, there's just half the people
Yeah.
down there that just run slower.
I remember nearing the end of high school being told that because I was from New York, get I would get jobs elsewhere in the country because they just have this assumption that we just sort of work at a different speed. We
It's
operate
true.
at a different speed.
It's 100% true. Like it's like there's just less care. Everybody is so much more like laid back down there. Whereas like there's just no pep in their step.
Some may argue that's more care.
Yeah. So this one's good because this kind of ties into the last one, but every place that has carts should have carts like Aldi's. Give me that quarter cart where I don't gotta have those idiots just leaving carts in the middle of the thing, and if they do, give me a quarter for taking it back for them.
Okay.
It's just so much better. You almost never see carts left out at Aldi's. I can't. You can tell so much about a person if you see them leave the cart.
I don't think maybe it's just something that I notice less these days, but I don't think very many people leave carts just like out in parking lots around here.
All the time around here.
Around
all
here.
the time.
I mean, like I don't know if I see it like at Wegmans is.
Oh, probably not, because upstanding people shop at Wegman. Not.
But like most people, okay. The I do see it in the Walmart parking lot in Webster, but where I see it is they have like a sidewalk. I don't know how you would orient it vertically through the
Yeah, it goes
parking
right
lot.
down the center of like the two parking
Yeah.
lanes. Yeah,
I see
they'll
people
just
leave carts on
put them
that.
up there. Yeah, I mean that's
But-
still lazy because all it takes is a strong gust of wind and it's smacking into somebody's car.
I guess
It's
I
just-
see
it's
most
just
people
lazy.
I see most people. Yes, it is. I agree with that. But I see most people like at least put two wheels up on that curb. Like they're not putting it all the way up there. They're just putting two wheels on so that it makes it less resistant to wind.
I don't know. It's just one
I
of
don't
those
know.
things where like the cart racks are
Yeah.
never too far away.
Yeah,
like
I know.
they're literally like the most you're gonna get is like 6 spaces, 7 spaces.
Some modern philosopher, can't remember who even said this, but they're basically pointing to the shopping cart as the yardstick for the ability to self-govern.
That's right.
Everybody knows that it's wrong to not bring it back. There's probably nothing that's going to happen if you don't bring it back. So, do you bring it back or not? If you bring it back, then you have an ability to self-govern, even if, like, to just do the right thing, even if something bad isn't going to happen otherwise.
Yep.
But a lot of people are just
lazy.
A lot of people are lazy. A lot of Jeep owners out there not using their turn signals, and
this is perfect. You cut right into my next one. Okay, yep. And now you might not agree with me, but this is something that irks me when you get behind somebody that has their turn signal on and they're not turning, but it's stuck on, and they don't realize
very
it.
Often.
Oh, I see it all the time, and it irks me. So I think that, and if the car is moving, there should be a 15-second timer on turn signal, and it cuts off. So
that's a good idea.
If the car is moving and it's just going, because you got to think most of the time, like you're going to be turning your turn signal on and then making the turn, or you're going to be turning the turn signal on, stopping and waiting, which if you're not moving, it wouldn't shut off. But if you're moving, after 15 seconds, it auto clicks off because people leave them on all the time. And they just, like, especially it happens most of the time when people are switching lanes and they don't turn the wheel sharp enough to get into the other lane to actually disengage it.
Because who does? That would be reckless.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I get that, and I do see it, just not very often. When I do see it, it is inevitably a car that was manufactured before the 80s.
Yeah. No, I see it on new cars all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just irks me.
I don't. You especially wouldn't see it on, say, Chevys, because the turn sound is played through the sound system. Like, you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
A lot of modern cars don't, like, there's no mechanical turn signal noise anymore. So they just play it through the sound system.
Some people are just,
I don't know.
They just aren't listening to it. You know, they got music blaring. Don't pay attention.
No, it's through the sound system. It plays at the same level as the music. Like, if you turn the system up, the turn signal noises turn up.
I guess I never noticed that.
That's like how it works. I know in at least Chevys, it works like that. It just plays through the sound system.
So that gives them even less of a reason for it to happen.
Yeah.
So now that they have it, if I see a Chevy and that's happening, they're dumber than I thought.
A Chevy that has been manufactured since the Bolt.
Okay.
Because I know that Bolts have this system.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. A driving one that I will bring up with this is, I think that defensive driving needs to be rebranded. I think it needs to be rebranded as predictable driving, because people hear defensive driving, then they never take the defensive driving course. And then they do stupid shit like stop in the middle of the road to let pedestrians who are not already crossing cross.
Yeah. That happens all the time.
And it's like, you're not doing anybody any favors. You are stopping the flow of traffic in order to wave people on. The number of people that I see stop at a stop sign across from me or to the side of me that I'm stopped at, like in my car, and then wave me on. I'm like, you don't need to do this. We read a whole book in order to get our license that tells you what to do here. You don't need to wave me on. I know what to do.
Yeah, but no, I do that all the time, because there's like, you get to the stop sign at the same time as somebody else, and it just ends up being a standoff. So I'm just like, come on, you can go. Like, I just wave them on. Go. I'm not gonna sit there.
I'm in no rush. I'm gonna sit there and look at them, and if they try to wave me on when they have the right of way, I'm gonna shake my head.
Yeah, but if it's at the exact same time or pretty close, how do you know? Then it's your decision making, saying that you got there first.
The person to the right,
or if you're directly across from each other.
If you're directly across, it's the person going straight.
What if you're both going?
Then you both go.
I know. I just had to get that in there.
If you're not gonna intersect people's line of travel, then you don't have to wait.
What if you're both turning to the same direction?
If you're both turning to the same direction, then you don't have to wait. If you're both turning left, maybe you have to wait. If there's somebody else stopped to either side of you and one of you can't, if they're like stopped in the middle of the road, you can't make that turn before the other person can. But use best judgment at that point.
Yeah.
Like the rules of the road, the right of way, is meant to protect people who are going to intersect people's line of traffic. The rules, we have them. If me and someone to my right pull up at the same time, I actually may have this wrong. I think I was corrected on this recently, but it's the person to the right that has the right of way, right? So if I'm stopped to the left of somebody and they try to wave me on, why would I go?
No, you wouldn't.
Someone else could pull up to that intersection, see the two of us there, expect that person to go, and if I try to go, they're going to hit me.
Yeah, people are just dumb though. That's the thing. I think you're giving people too much credit. People are just stupid.
But this is what I'm saying. No, no, I'm not giving people the credit because defensive driving is what they're trying to do. But they hear defensive driving and they hear get out of people's way. They hear let other people go first. They hear go slow. And that's not what defensive driving is about. If you take a defensive driving course, they're going to tell you if you're merging onto a highway, ideally you speed up to merge.
Yeah, you speed up to the same speed as the traffic's going on the thing, so you can merge in.
No, if someone is not moving over for you, you should speed up to get ahead of them. That is how you're supposed to behave on an on-ramp.
Yeah,
as a merger. Because if you slow down, then you are going slower than the speed of traffic. And yeah, everything backs up behind you. Whereas if you speed up, then it doesn't slow everything down. That's defensive driving.
Yeah.
But people don't hear that when they think defensive driving because defensive driving is really predictable driving.
Yeah. Yeah. People just suck at driving.
And then we gotta make a petition for Jeeps to be equipped with turn signals.
True.
I'll never let this go. I'm gonna keep banging this drum to everybody that I know until everybody that I know drops the BMWs don't use their turn signals and switches over to the Jeeps don't use their turn signals because.
See, I just think shitty people don't use turn signals. I don't think it's specific to a car.
I'm seeing more people these days
all the time,
and I
see cops all the time not use them. I see everybody under the sun not use them.
I cannot shake that the shopping cart is the ultimate yardstick of being able to self-govern. The turn signal is the ultimate yardstick of laziness.
Yeah.
It costs you 0 calories to flex your wrist up or down in order to put that turn signal on. There is nothing bad that's going to happen if you turn it on. And there is only good things that will happen if you turn it on.
See, I'll tell you exactly why people don't put them on. It's people that drive with their left arm and their right arm is not on the wheel.
I don't give a shit. I drive with my right arm.
Your left arm, you mean?
Reach over.
Well, people are just lazy. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
I know that's exactly what I'm saying. It's the ultimate form of laziness. If you don't use your turn signal, it's lazy. There's no excuse.
You don't use your turn signal. Fuck you.
no people were around. Like I don't need to let people who aren't around know. You practice how you play.
You know how bad I am? I turn signal coming out of my work parking lot.
I turn signal coming out of my driveway.
Same.
Because you practice, or whatever. You play how you practice. If you're not using it when people aren't around, then you're not going to use it when people are around. You're just going to fall into that pattern, and you're going to move over on a motorcycle. As much as I hate motorcycles, I'm not going to run one over.
My thing is like it's ingrained in me. I can't not. So like for you to just not, for it not to be second nature, just means like you're inherently flawed in your driving.
Serious.
Like I can't not do it.
It's laziness.
All right. So my next one, physical change. Get rid of it. I don't want quarters or nickels or dimes anymore. Like just round up or down. I don't care. Like there's such an inconvenience when when I pay something and they just hand me back 37 cents. I don't want it. Just put out a jar and I'll put it in there. I just don't want change.
Yeah, I get that, and I understand. I usually put anything lower than a dime. I put pennies and nickels into take a penny, leave a penny type things. But if that happened, they were just like, no more change. You know what would happen? Everything would be rounded up. There's not a single business that would be like, round up or down. Everything would be rounded up. You spend $19.01. You're not getting that dollar back.
Well,
you're spending $20.
No, everything would just be changed. Where After a while, it'd just be normal. Things wouldn't. It would just be, or things weren't coming out to 1901. They were just coming out to 19 flat or 20 flat.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen. I think places would still set prices the same way that they do, still let taxes occur the same way that it does, and then they would round up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't I don't see places putting the work in to charge
No, I'm saying, but
93 cents.
no, but if the currency is gone, then things have to end in that because nobody can pay in cents or in change. So like they'd have to. It would just be dollar amounts. Like there, if you completely get rid of the currency, then it would have to end in whatever. I mean, I know it's hard with tax with like tax percentages and stuff.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Because we would have to change how our taxes work, how our sales tax works.
But God, change is so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like I just hate change.
I just have a jug. I put all my change into the jug, and then I take it to a Coinstar.
Yeah, I just hate change. I have it. That's what I have too. I actually, you know where my jug, you know what my jug is? It's the cup that you gave me for being in your wedding.
That's good.
Yep, that's my change cup. Oh,
That's
I don't
good.
know if
It's
I
a
ever
good-sized
told you
cup.
about this. This is story time.
Mhm.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I might have. So if I did, sorry, you're hearing it in. But did you know that cup got stolen?
When you started talking, this it was like an inkling that I had. I think you told me about it. I don't know if I remember it though.
So at the time, there was a person that I was living with that was had gotten into some not so
Yeah.
good
Okay, yeah.
things and decided to steal stuff from me to go get not so good things. Yeah. I had
Yeah, I do remember that.
I had to threaten somebody that I was gonna beat him up over a cup.
I mean, I don't blame you.
No, I didn't even care about the money. Like, I think there was like probably like $30 for the change. I just wanted the cup. Like, you can have the money, you can't replace the cup.
Yep. I know, because it's monogram too, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
not even that. It's the fact that I know where it came from. I will
Yeah,
never,
I know.
I'll never relive that scenario again.
But like that's the thing is like whatever, you're gonna pawn it. It's a mug. Unless
He
unless you're trying to sell it to someone.
pawn it. He just took the change. He just didn't put it back.
No.
It was under his bed.
Oh God. I mean, no, I know, but I mean, like, what you're gonna do with that if you actually steal it is you're gonna pawn it, unless you know somebody with exactly those initials.
Yeah, no
Like
point.
you can't sell it,
You know?
and it's a mug. You're not gonna get much for it anyway. So yeah, like, oh God.
All right. Next one. Car starters should be included in every car from the
Or-
factory.
I think they generally are.
No, a lot of them don't. Mine doesn't have it.
Oh, car starters. Never mind.
Yeah, car starter. Like they're so easy for them to put in and
Yeah.
charge $500 more for the car. Nobody's gonna give a fuck. Just put a car starter in every single car.
I got charged $200 for mine.
Yeah, no, well, I didn't.
Because my truck didn't have keyless entry either.
Mm.
So I went and got that, and he was like, it comes with car starter, so it's $200. Like, okay, cool, that's worth it to me.
Yeah, see, for me
'Cause
to get
using
mine,
key sucked.
now, Volkswagens are really weird.
Oh, Volkswagen.
You have to buy another key, and then that key has to be embedded into the dash with the aftermarket car starter.
Oh my God.
It's like $500.
Yeah, everything with Volkswagens.
But they're
like
but
that.
they're so nice though. Like
I know.
there's definitely some things that like people give them heck for, but man, I love the car.
I knew a guy who the electric seat in his Volkswagen stopped working, and it was a Rabbit, I think. So it was like the smallest, cheapest
Yeah.
Volkswagen, and it was like $1,500
Yeah.
to repair it because you can't repair it because it's all electronic.
Yeah, so you have to replace the whole wiring
and
harness.
And it's built in, so you
Yeah.
have to replace the whole seat.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, here's my last one, and I will die on this hill.
Okay.
Paper straws. Fuck those things.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, they're the worst thing in the world. I got
Yeah, they are.
a drink from Wendy's, I want to say. Maybe it was I don't know. Some fast food place. And dude, they just give you this. Oh no, it's Arby's. Arby's has these big paper straws. Oh man, they feel weird on your lips. Like they're just not good.
Yep.
Like they're just nowhere near as good as a plastic straw.
Yeah, they are actually worse in every way, even when you look into what they're made out of.
Yeah.
Uh it it's like more energy intensive to manufacture paper straws than it is to manufacture plastic straws.
So
They are not any better like for the environment because of the things they have to be treated with to make them even a little bit water resistant.
mhm.
It's like they're all around just worse.
Yeah, they're perceived as more green, but they're not. They just
Yeah.
suck. They just absolutely suck. Like I've never had an experience where I'm like, you know what, I can at this point, if you really want to just give me a fucking lid that's got a sippy cup style lid.
Yep.
Just let me drink
Yep.
out the
Starbucks got it
fucking
right.
lid. Yeah, like just give me that. Like I
Yep.
don't need the straw, but I don't want to have to put my lip on the edge of the cup and I don't want a paper straw. Like just give me the sippy cup. I'll drink
The
like a
the
happily
one
drink like a baby.
the one part that the one time that I've gotten a paper straw and haven't minded it, I don't even remember where this was, but it was with a cocktail. It's a small drink, like you don't need it for a long time, so it's reasonable to have it for like a 6 ounce drink, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, anything larger than that you're gonna be drinking for any longer than a standard size cocktail is like no, it's not good. It's not worth it. Just give me an uncut penne pasta, just a big long pasta tube. I have seen places use those. Those sound interesting.
Yeah. Well, unless you have some more, that's the end of my topic.
Nah, I don't think so.
So, and we actually missed something at the beginning of the episode that I'm going to come back to, and that is the fun fact for the day.
Oh,
Vince,
shit.
you didn't do your job.
No, I didn't.
So
If
I'm
it's
gonna
not if it's not in the script that I wrote, I don't say it apparently.
So, Final Fantasy is famously exclusive to the Nintendo up until Final Fantasy VII.
Yo.
Do you know why they left and went to PlayStation?
No, I don't.
Because the games were too limited by the storage capacity of the cartridges used by Nintendo, and Squaresoft thought that they needed to move platforms to be able to properly scale their games where their vision was going. So that's why they left and went to PlayStation.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yep. So I figured that would be a good little fun fact. And
Yeah.
now I will give you my loose end for the day.
Okay.
So just like last week, going to be doing a draft because these are real fun.
Yeah.
They're easy. They're lighthearted. Something, quick little hitter. So this week we're going to do 90s television shows because I thought that was a super good one because that encompasses all of your teenage or adult style shows, cartoons, anime, anything that's 90s TV.
Yep.
So I'll let you take first this year or this week.
Did I went first last week, didn't I?
I don't know. Did you?
Should we randomize it?
Sure.
All right. I have a number. Is it odd or even?
Even.
No, it's 5.
Okay. So you go first.
Well, I have 2 that I'm between. This is a tough first pick. Just TV shows in general.
Yep.
Oh shit. Still going Dragon Ball Z.
What a good choice. Okay.
What you got? What's your first?
For my first pick overall, I'm taking Pokemon.
Okay. I respect it. I think I'm just gonna go all kids shows on this. I don't know how you're leaning here. I think I may end up going all kids shows.
Depends on what you pick. Will depend on what I pick. I got like a whole list of stuff.
Hey Arnold.
Oof, that's a good one.
This is what I was going. I was going back and forth between Dragon Ball and Hey Arnold for my number 1.
Oof. For number 2, I'm taking Rugrats.
Yeah, okay. That was gonna be my next pick.
Yep. You can't go wrong with it.
Ooh, boy. Wait. I need to look something up real quick.
Gotta see when it came out.
Yep. SpongeBob.
Oof. What a good choice.
Came out May 1999.
Oh, right on the edge.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to have to take Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. Good call. Oh boy. I just keep having to look up stuff. This isn't saying. When did this come out? Okay, I'm taking it. There's no chance you would possibly take this, but I'm taking Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh yeah, definitely no way. I don't even know how
There,
to.
I pasted it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know how to spell that.
It's fucked up the formatting in the doc, but I pasted it for you.
Way to break it.
I don't know what the keyboard shortcut for paste is plain text.
Should just do that. Whatever.
Nope.
All right.
Just retype it and delete that line. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
All right, what you got number 4?
My fourth pick, I am going to take Boy Meets World.
Fair.
Yeah, I feel like that's a one that I just can't let go.
Oh man, I don't know. I was a child, but I still feel weird about picking all animated shows.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good mixture in my bank of possibilities.
Yeah. All right, give me another second. Let's see. Nope, that one's not. That one's not 90s.
Oh, hate that for you.
Fuck it. I'm going Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh wow, I didn't see that coming.
I watched that show a lot.
It was a great show. It was on my list. Okay. I don't think you'll have see this one coming, but I absolutely love it. I'm going with Home Improvement. Such a good show. So funny. Just wholesome. I was torn between that or Family Matters.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch very many sitcoms
I watched a ton.
when I was a child. I don't think.
Well, that is my loose end for the week.
Okay, I respect it.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's over onto me, huh?
Yeah, and it seems that way.
Okay, I went with vapor this week. I want to talk all about vaping, juices, cotton, coils. No, I titled this. I don't know if you get what I mean by what I put in the doc here. Imagined nostalgia. But it's
maybe
okay. It's like it's like the things, the media, the art styles that harken back to a time but aren't exactly like what it was. The reason that I thought about it with vapor is from vaporwave. You know what I mean when I say vaporwave?
talking like early 90s, like late 80s, that style.
It's like, well, that's the thing, right? When I say that and you think of this sort of art style, this neon, like teal and pink sort of art style,
Yeah.
Synth music and all that sort of stuff, like
Miami
you think
Vice.
that's what
Yeah.
you think of, right?
Yep.
But that ain't what the 80s was really. Like, you look back and it was like Cyndi Lauper, and like they're funky in a way that
new
we
kids
don't
on the block.
New Kids on the Block. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this like hyper sort of technological sort of style, it's not really what it was, but I fucking love vaporwave and
so
the whole aesthetic that it brings with it, right? Like, this is the style that people were thinking of when they started typing, the word aesthetic like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where they're putting spaces in between each one.
Yep.
I just love it. So I was wondering, this is going to be a pretty loose topic, but I was wondering if there's anything that you can think of like this, that you particularly like or dislike, media that sort of harkens back to a certain time that never really was.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I mean, yes. I would say the 90s, and it's kind of like when you think about places like trying to recreate like 90s clothing or stuff, all I can think of is like the multicolor like Fila jackets.
Oh, like color blocks?
Yeah, like color blocks, or like the really old school like puff NFL jackets.
Yeah.
Like, I love that style, that era of clothing, and like that's really not the 90s. But that's what it's.
that was like street clothes, but
Yeah, but it's like that's what people think about when they think about that stuff, and like those big bold blocks of colors. Like, Adidas started doing a bunch of new stuff with that. I actually want to show you something too.
Okay, You know what I think of when I think of 90s like style is oversized sweaters.
Oh, yeah.
People wearing like the oversized cable knit sweaters.
Yeah, that
Backstreet
definitely makes
Boys
sense.
style.
Yeah, yep. I don't know if you've ever seen this game before or not. It's called Radical Heights.
Nope.
It kind of came out and faded fast. So it
Okay.
was the guy, one of the guys that worked for Epic during Gears of War, Cliff Belinsky.
Cliff Blazinski. Sure.
Yeah,
Cliffy B.
Cliffy B. So
One
he
of the
started
biggest
this.
scummers in the game industry. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was right after like H1 was doing well, and they came up
Okay.
with this concept. And I'm so mad that it flopped because it was so cool. It just made me think of like when you said vaporwave.
Yeah, this is Vaporwave.
Yep.
This grid.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but just wait till you see the actual like game. I'm so mad that it didn't take off and do well because it was so cool. Let's skip forward into the
Okay.
gameplay for you. It was like straight arcade poppy, like running into.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, dude, it was so cool. It was like real floaty and stuff when you jumped.
When was this made?
2016 probably, 2017, somewhere in there.
Is this the game that like the Fortnite streamers went to like when there was an unpopular update or something like that? I remember watching a game that sort of felt like this.
No, I don't. This would have been like H1 before. This was like kind of before Fortnite had come out.
Okay.
This was like right after like peak H1N1.
Okay. Gotcha.
But it was super cool. Like this gives the whole this all of this gives me that vaporwave feel, like the butt kicking the door
Yeah.
down and the whole door explodes. Or like,
Yeah. I mean, this dude is fucking Rambo.
yeah,
There's an MTV tank top
yeah,
there.
and like riding around on the tricked out bicycles is such a cool
Uh-huh.
thing for a BR versus like, you know, all the other BRs now have like cars and ATVs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought that was super cool into what we were talking about. I'll put the link to that video in the
Yeah, definitely.
Discord.
And I'll put a I'll put the picture that I think of when I think of vaporwave.
Yep.
Like that's it. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something so like so I guess aesthetic about that. But it's not just like an art style either. I mean, I guess it is because this band like sort of plays into it. But have you heard of TWRP?
No.
I would recommend that you go ahead and look them up on Spotify, just to sort of see their sort of art style. It's like 80s synth pop guar is how I will describe them.
What did you say their name was?
TWRP.
Yes.
The first line of their bio is the sound of the future as imagined in the 80s.
Yeah, this reminds me of like Guar meets the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm just looking at like the pictures.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
And this is like what they do. Their whole shtick is that they are broadcasting into the past from the far-flung future of the 1980s. And
That's pretty dope. That's
It's-
got to be a really cool show.
I would imagine it would be, yeah.
Oh,
I also recommend looking up the music video to their most popular song here, Starlight Brigade. It's animated. It is phenomenal. Gives
Mm.
me like Steven Universe vibes, I think, is the show that I'm thinking about. But yeah, they're a really cool vibe, this band.
they sound like it. I'm pulling it up
Yeah.
now and take a little.
They tour with, you know how I found this band actually? A recommendation from you. Do you remember the Proto Men?
Yeah.
You recommended them to me. They're like a very loosely Mega Man themed
Yep.
rock opera band.
Yeah.
And I threw on a radio based on the Proto Men, and TWRP came up along with like Ninja Sex Party.
That's totally your vibe.
Yeah. I listen to this shit a lot. But yeah, so I guess I don't know where else to bring this topic. There's other stuff like this. Like I sort of dial in on the 80s because it's my favorite, but like there's 60s
Oh, a ton.
ideas of this too, right? Like
Yeah.
Mad Men
Yep.
is what I think of when I think of the 60s, except it wasn't actually like that. It kind of sucked.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about like like 2000s, I'm thinking like baggy, hanging off the butt jeans, bigger chains, long t-shirts. You know,
Yeah, sure.
I just think about Nelly
Think
and
about Nelly.
what he would wear, and that's what I think about when I think about like 2000s.
One rolled up pant leg,
Yeah, a band-aid
the
under one eye.
band-aid. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yep. I actually saw it was kind of nice. I actually saw a video with Nelly today, and it
Yeah.
was yeah, he was at like some NASCAR event, and he did a
Huh.
performance there, surprisingly, apparently. And
I,
there was a person in the crowd that was disabled, and it was their birthday, and he got off the stage as he was leaving, and he went over and talked to him, and gave him a hug, and he gave him his jacket, and it was just like such a
oh,
genuine like moment. Like the person didn't seem to communicate very well as far as
okay.
like verbally or anything, but you could just see how happy they were in their like facial expressions and body movement, and it was like, man, that just made that person's like year.
Yeah, right?
Like, cuz like as bad as I feel like somebody like me that doesn't, I don't have anything that's, considered a disability. Like somebody like
Mhm.
me wanting something like from my hero of a artist or something, like I don't know. I just don't know if it can mean as much to me as it could to somebody like that, where like everything is that I take for granted is something that they truly appreciate. So
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they something like that for them it's just got to be like through the moon, and like that makes me so happy that to see that stuff happen, because I can only imagine that that's got to just really really have a huge positive impact on somebody like that's life.
Yeah, I know. It's the sort of thing that I can't even imagine either.
Yeah, it's just
I
like
can't
that.
imagine being the artist that is like able to do that for someone either, you know?
Yeah, yep, dude, it's crazy. That's why I love those videos, and I mean everyone does because they go viral every time that when somebody posts it. But whenever somebody pulls up a person out of the crowd to do like sing with them or rap with them or play an instrument, like it's just so good because like
Yep.
it means it's not going to change anything for that artist. You know what I mean? Like if the fans are going to enjoy the show no matter what. But like you could literally change that person's life just by
Yeah, right?
pulling up. They get exposure. Next thing you know, somebody reaches out to them for something, and it kickstarts it. Like stuff's just people love seeing other people happy. Like I know there's the kind of the whole shtick that like people like drama, people like negativity. I think it's more that that's given to us more than happy.
Yeah, right?
I think people like happy just as much, if not more. It's just not put out anywhere near as much because like all most of the viral videos we see are like happy things happening. Like you think back to
Yeah.
like the early viral videos, like people firemen saving a cat from a tree, and like like those just different kinds of things. Like I don't know, just really makes me genuinely happy to see those things. And it seems like the less corporate or industry heavy the music scene becomes, the more of these things we see. Because like artists are so much more connected with their fans now than they ever were, with like social media, that kind of stuff. Like they can have literal conversations with a fan anytime they want to just, open up Instagram and go through a post and pick a person out of there and send them a DM and talk with a random fan if they wanted.
Yeah,
And
right?
like that was never possible before. Like just doing stuff like that, or doing like the big thing now is TikTok lives. Like a ton of artists do TikTok lives, and they'll take like song requests or just hang out and talk with fans. So it's like they're so much more connected now, I feel like, than they ever were before.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing that you always tended to hear was like people saying like the news is so dark, it's so hard to watch. And it's like that's the sort of feeling that the like fluff news piece was born out of, right?
Yep.
Because then you have these corporate things that move so slowly and can't really keep up with what people actually want, just trying to throw shit at the wall, trying to get something to stick. So they put
Mm-hmm.
a water skiing squirrel on the news
Yep.
because they think that that's the type of feel good story that people want. But nah, people like when people are happy.
Yeah, that's why I love like all the singing competition shows, like just seeing
Hmm.
people genuinely happy, specifically like America's Got Talent, because you really see some like people break down because they're not most of the people that try out for that aren't like professional singers, whereas like a lot of the people that go on like The Voice and American Idol, they've been singing for professionally as backup singers for 15 years and stuff like that.
Sure.
Whereas, like a lot of the time on America's Got Talent, you see like somebody that's been singing in their bedroom since they're 15 and have never sang in front of anybody, kind
Yeah,
of
right.
kind of deal. Or like there's that one girl, I don't want to mess up her name, I can't remember it, and I would feel bad if I said it wrong. But she was on
Yeah,
America's
you
Got
better.
Talent, and she ended up having cancer and passing away from it. But like she went on there while she was dealing with it, and like got a golden buzzer. She was phenomenal, and to like see that experience through her, like to be going through what she's going through and then experience that much of a high when you're that low. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's got to be a rush like no other.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
I saved this picture because I saw it the other day and it stuck with me and it made me really think. Let me scroll up to find it. It has
Okay.
a picture of Goku staring off into space, right? And it says
Okay.
me realizing I'm attached to childhood shows and movies because they remind me of a time when I was genuinely happy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that hits hard. It's like
This
life was
is
so easy when we were
this
young.
is part of my theory about why people like summer, because summer kind of, I don't want to say objectively, I think that it sucks. And I know a lot of other people, as soon as summer hits, they start complaining about how hot it is out. And it's like, but then they'll say that it's their favorite, but then they'll go outside and they'll be like, ah, it's too hot out here. We got to go. And then it's like this constant fluctuation. And I think that a lot of people brainwash themselves into thinking that summer is their favorite season because it reminds them of school and the literally only time in your life when you have been forming memories where you don't have any responsibility.
Yeah.
Like you have responsibility as a school kid. So like you're not going to remember that very fondly, but every year for a couple months, you got nothing going on. You can just be yourself,
Summer break.
forming memories.
Oh, hey, we did a little bit of that.
Yep, yep. But I
Yeah.
think that's what makes people think that they like summer as adults
I
when you
mean, I
can
think
kind
there
of
are
tell that
people
they
that,
don't.
yeah, there's definitely people that genuinely do. Like people that are beach people love summer.
I think people think they need to be beach people because it's summer.
No, I think there's genuinely people that just love the beach.
There definitely are. I I speak in like absolutes a lot, and I don't mean to.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that just you could just lop off summer and winter. Like just give me
Yeah,
spring, fall all the time. I'm happy as a clam. I don't want extreme heat and I don't want snow.
I can understand that. I'm fine with snow though.
I'm not. It's such an. I don't like inconvenience. That's the theme of this podcast. Is Josh hates
Yeah, sure.
inconvenience.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What did you learn today? Josh is a baby and he hates waiting.
Josh has had too soft a life.
I just, yep. I choose
Yeah,
the quickest road.
I get that. I get that. Okay. Anything else you have to add to this? Other like period piece
I'm trying to think if there's anything else
stuff? You
that
don't have
really
to.
sticks out to me. I mean, no, not really. I mean, we did the 2000s.
What if we do like a little bit like, okay, I don't really have anything for my loose end
Mhm.
again throughout my back, so my life has still been boring.
So he had some loose ends in his back.
Yeah, my
Mm.
my back loose ended me. Um so I guess we'll just do this. I think this will be interesting if we just go through and you tell me your sense of what the decade was like. I know we did trend way back when,
Mhm.
but like if I say the 70s, where does your mind go?
Like Pink Floyd, kind of Woodstock,
Okay.
hippie, like
Okay.
black like mushroom posters, like
Interesting.
Bob Marley, Rasta, just
Okay.
hang out party.
See, because where I go with is like the beginning of like metal, kind of. You know what I mean? Like the guitarists that you think of, the great guitarists, your Jimi Hendrixes,
Mm-hmm.
Eric Clapton. Like that's where I go. I think of the things that you were saying as like the 60s, the sort of lead up to Woodstock, as opposed to the come down after it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. It's definitely still going on. It's
Yeah,
just
see,
for some reason.
I think of like metal era as like the 80s because that's what like 80s hair metal was like.
Yeah. Well, that's I think of the 70s as I guess proto metal.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 80s is the birth of metal with like Metallica, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Sabbath, is 60s, 70s, so
Yep.
that's right before. Okay, we already I did 60s. What do you think about in the 60s?
Huh. I think about it in the 60s.
Yeah, I know, right? So I think it's kind of interesting.
See, the
And I said it.
60s are weird because it's like I think of like a mix between like like poodle skirts, like bows in your hair, like grease style stuff mixed with like peace sign hippie, bright color stuff, like a clash between the two,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
I think you're like a decade ahead. Doesn't Grease take place in like the 50s?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like the 50s up into the 60s, like it's kind of like there's still parts of the 50s in there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then like I don't know, I think of like all like one color dresses for women and they're like really frilly
Okay.
and
Sure.
like sunburst. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the sunburst effect on like posters, like
yeah.
vintage posters. Elvis Presley, so like bell bottom pants, that kind of stuff.
You're all over the place, man.
Because the 60s were kind of all over the place.
Okay, but you said you brought up Elvis and bell bottoms in the same sentence. Did Elvis wear bell bottoms?
Yeah,
Like bell
yeah.
I associate bell bottoms with disco.
Yeah, no, he definitely wore bell
Like the
bottoms.
80s. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, like his whole suit was like bell bottom.
Bell bottoms. Were bell bottoms 60s or 70s? Popular fashion during the 60s and 70s. Okay.
And like that's his like signature suit.
No, yeah, I get that. I don't know. I it's funny the sort of fuck. I hate that new drinking game. Anytime I say it's funny, drink, you'll be absolutely smashed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna point out like the associations we make because bell bottoms to me are definitely firmly disco.
Oh yeah. Well, see if that's because you didn't grow up with a mother that was obsessed with Elvis.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So like, so I got like both groups because like and the reason I mix them together I think is that distinction because I have like I know Elvis was super prevalent in the 60s because my mom was growing up watching him. So like I know that style from hearing stories with her and seeing pictures. Then I also know that like the hippie phase and stuff like the 60s are when the Beatles started to break out onto stuff. So you have like the the big rimmed glasses like John Lennon had and like
John Legend. Yeah,
John Legend. Yeah. So I just think it's like a good mixture between both.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do the 50s or are we bored with this?
I think the 50s are like super easy. So I mean I just think of like literally Grease. You think of the old school diners, black and white checkered floor, vinyl wrapped booths inside, malted milkshakes, burgers and fries,
Ooh.
that kind of leather jackets, slick back hair.
Love me a malted milkshake.
Frilly dresses, like summer dresses. It's just that's what I get. Ponytails.
Sure.
Basically just Grease. Like
just Grease.
I mean, Grease like it just encompasses the 50s.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you there.
I mean, for the most part,
mobsters,
Cadillacs, mobsters, yeah,
sure.
WandaVision. I mean,
yeah, WandaVision came out in the 50s.
Yeah. Old jukeboxes.
Couples didn't sleep in the same bed. Yeah.
Dean Martin in the 50s too.
Who the fuck knows? Probably.
I think he was.
Those crooners, probably. I don't know. Dean Martin. I don't know why I think he's a singer.
40s and
Is he a singer too?
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I
singer,
thought.
actor, comedian.
Okay, like Jared Leto. Um,
Damn.
that was disrespectful, Dean Martin. Apologies. All right, that's all I got. I got no loose ends. That's it. Y'all go home now, okay? Thank you and congratulations for making it to the end of this episode of Cord on the Street. We have been your hosts, Vince and Josh. You can find us on our socials. You can find us on Twitter at Cord on the Street, QUORD on the ST. If you're listening to us on YouTube / Cord on the Street, go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you're listening to us, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you can leave a review, please leave us a review. If you tell us what we can do worse, I promise I will read it on the podcast unless it's just too mean.
If you have any need to contact us in a longer format, you can email us at cordonthestreet@gmail.com, or you can visit us on our website, cordonthestreet.xyz. Feel free to leave us a voice message on there. If you want to reach out to us individually, you can get a hold of us at our personal Twitters. Mine is at I'm Scuzzy, IMSKUZZEY.
And I am at V_C, spell out the underscore. We would finally like to acknowledge the people that made this podcast happen. Josh Wardle, who is the original creator of Wordle.
And Freddie Meyer, the creator of Quordle, who you can find on Twitter at Quordle.
And with that, we will just ask you, as always, to
Get the cord out.